Hello, my name is Grian, and today I'm going to be showing you 10 bathroom designs. So I've got a bunch of them here. A lot of them are more of the modern kind, but these are just general ideas on how you can make a pretty good looking bathroom using a bunch of techniques. So this first one has a lot of designs that you're going to see throughout the video. But the first one I want to point out, which is unique to this one, is the flooring. As you can see, I've used sandstone block, but this odd one here is actually sandstone staircase but upside down, as it has a different texture to the top of the normal one. And there's also a lot of other things that you're going to see throughout the 10 designs, but one of the things here is the basin utilizing the tripwire hook along with the item frame with some blue wool. A very common toilet design, but one of the things I really want to show you is this shower curtain design utilizing banners and the iron trap door behind it just to support those being placed. And as you can see, it dips down a little bit with a drain, so that's really cool. But you can also add some little hooks on the wall along with some towel racks, just white banners, but they sway nicely so it actually looks like a nice towel. Another thing I want to point out is that we have detailed the walls here using some slabs interlaced into the stained clay, and the overall effect is quite nice. So next up we have a rather odd design, but some things that you would see quite common in a bathroom, such as the black and white checkered floor. I'm not sure when that arose, but it is quite an older design. So we've also got a bath mat just outside the bath with a few techniques that I do want to point out. If you don't know how to make these, it is just a staircase block, a quartz one, placed in a tub shape. And then you've got, of course, the bath curtain, which you saw in the previous design, but you may notice that in the roof I have inlaid a single layer depth. And while we're on the topic of the roof, I do want to point out the underside of the quartz block is a lot nicer than the top. So using it as a ceiling block really has a nice pattern. If you place it there, you can see how nice that is compared to if you place it on the floor. It has this sort of checkered look about it, so you can actually see like the lines between the blocks, which isn't really what we would like. So that's just another thing to point out. And on the basin here we have some shelves and a mirror. However, you could remove those wooden trapdoors and make some shelves and then pop the wooden trapdoors back again, and you have a little cabinet. I mean, you can't put anything in them, but at least it looks like a nice little detail. So we've also got a mirror, and you can notice the prismarine blocks and that nice little detail of like a cup. You know, you can have those glass ones, especially in hotels and stuff like that. And we've got a slightly different toilet design here along with a bin. So overall, it's probably not my favorite design, but there's lots of things in there that hopefully could spark your imagination. So next up we have a kind of similar design to the last one, but utilizing a different palette. So as you can see, there's been some color changes and stuff like that, but there is a couple of basins here using cauldrons and the tripwire hook as a tap, and a few more designs. But one of the big things about this one is it actually comes with a redstone shower, and you can choose whether you want the hot tap on, and it makes, you know, not exactly hot water come through, but lava. So hopefully you could do something like that and you would, I don't know, trick your friends or something like that. But you could also have water, so it's hot and cold taps. And this is something that you could put together if you had enough space. So I'll show you the redstone now. It does look a little bit complicated, I will admit, but if it is something you would like to do, you know, you could have an actual shower. But overall, I think the design is quite nice in that room. Next up, we have a room that is completely orientated around the idea of a... is that NPC Grian? Nah, it couldn't have been. Oh. Okay, well anyway, this room was designed around the idea of having a functional mirror, so that the room is completely mirrored on both sides. The floor has a nice checkered design, which is a little less intense than the black and white one we saw earlier using adensite and the half slab block. I really do get confused between them. So it is utilizing a very similar design to the first one. However, we have managed to do the reflective mirror, as I've showed you in many videos, but I love it so much. So you can just go in the other side and you can see it's exactly the same. And you could even put like an armor stand with your face on it, so every time you went and looked in the mirror, you could actually see a basic reflection of your own skin. Next up, we have a different palette altogether, featuring a sandstone wall and a dark prismarine floor, which I have said in the past is a fantastic block to use as a bathroom floor. And one of the most notable things about this place is the taps, with the same design that I showed you earlier on, this time having a hot tap, the bath and the bath mat, but it has got a nice ceiling as well. Nothing too fancy there. Now, next up, I think everyone's been in a bathroom like this at one point or another. This is a sort of public domain bathroom, or, you know, prison one or something like that, and there's pee on the floor in the cubicles, and sometimes even poo on the floor in the cubicles. It's a disgusting place. But if I'm doing a bathroom design and you're making some sort of ruined prison or something like that, this might be the bathroom that you want, because unfortunately it does happen. So that's just another design, but we'll swiftly move out of that one into the more pristine and better environment of a modern contemporary bathroom. And one of the things that is great about this is the ceiling lights, which is actually covered by a carpet but lets the light through the glass. So that's a really nice trick, and you can see the glass panes have been used here nicely just to sort of segment the build up, along with a nice tub and some inlets with these little bits of detail here and there. It's more about the shape and the overall effect in this design, with a nice wooden floor and a carpet. It all just sort of complements each other and has a nice shape about it. So if you wanted to do a modern one, you can see how all of these shapes integrate into that design. Next up, we're on to the attic design, which I have said in the past is my absolute favourite. It's sort of a lonely tub on its own, but the overall effect is amazing for this one. You have the beams in the ceiling, you have this integrated nice walls, along with a toilet design that really fits the entire room. I don't know what they're called, but it's got like the cauldron on the top with the water well. It's got a really nice sink, and it's all lovely and wooden and that kind of thing, and it all fits together. One thing that this room does well is just show how everything integrates together. Now, this isn't really a room. I did kind of deceive you here. This is a Portaloo. You must have seen them around. Well, we call them Portaloos in the UK. I don't know what you call them wherever you live. But, you know, you might see these on building sites, and you can see down there that someone's already used this one. Just those little details really make this interesting. You wouldn't perhaps like to use lapis lazuli, but you could use any sort of coloured block, and this is a bench for peeping, so do not touch so you can see what's in there. I just thought it was a fun little thing to add to the 10 designs, because, well, who knows when you're going to need a Portaloo. As for the last one, this is more like an office cubicle sort of toilet, you know, and I missed something up there, so I'm just going to go and fix that. And this is just a very typical office style. So as you can see, I've used prismarine again, one of the lovely blocks that I find will only be good for toilets. And these cold taps, you know, just for washing your hands and that kind of stuff. But there's lots of them, and then a hand dryer. And of course, the big thing is these cubicles that look actually pretty convincing. Oh, sorry. And there's a nice flooring, there's a really nice design to it, and you can go in the toilets, and well, if you can make it through the door. And one thing I really like to this one is the toilet paper on the item frame, which I think is nice. It utilizes the button, the item frame, and a piece of wall. And of course, you just have the toilet itself, which is a simple design. I have shown it before. And everything kind of works together, and diorite is on the floor, and it just helps break it up a little bit. You could use anything really if you wanted to break it up, as long as it matched the color and style of the room. I think this one is actually a really nice design. It's definitely one of my favorite ones in the designs that I'm showing you today. And that's kind of it. That is all 10 designs. So the first one is the office block, the Portaloo, the attic bathroom, not sure where you'd use that, a modern build, the let's not talk about it build, the prison one, the sandstone with prismarine, the mirror trick, which I absolutely love, a nice design, and we're back to the sort of 70s design, which I'm not sure, and then back to our first one, and there's 10 different designs, all with a different take on how you could do it. And again, all of these are completely square and work to a very specific size. Now, the reason I do that is because I try and generalize what sort of size bathroom people will have. You may have a smaller or larger one depending on what you're doing. But hopefully some of these designs have sparked your imagination, as I always try to do with these types of videos. So, the last thing for me to do is say thank you very much for watching. I also want to give some credit to a few people. Blackiichan for acting, Sage for also acting as the toilet man, and Botbox and Ajustme for helping me make these designs that I showcased today. They're all very talented and they're all part of my new crew. So, thank you very much for watching. That's it from me. Goodbye!